Here's 5.1, day 1, using the fundamental identities. If you could open up your books to page 354, there are some identities that you already have in your notes. Later on in the lesson is when I'm going to have you write on the rest of the identities, but we'll refer to them on page 354. What we're going to be doing today is we are going to simplify expressions, and here are some of the methods that we're going to simplify. The most popular way is to rewrite into all sines and cosines. Another way is to factor. The next way is to add or subtract with fractions. And then with this trig substitution, we'll save that for tomorrow's lesson. So you don't need to write those down. We'll get enough practice today. So just to review a few things for you. Do you remember sine, cosine, tangent from chapter 4? You're going to see a lot today that the sine of theta over the cosine of theta is the tangent, or the cotangent of theta is cosine over sine. Also, the sine of theta is 1 over the cosecant. Cosecant is 1 over the secant. And then down below, a couple more identities. You don't need to write these down, they're already in your notes. The secant is 1 over the cosine, cosecant is 1 over the sine. What we're going to do are these next examples. These are what I do want you to write in your notes. So we want to simplify the first expression, the tangent of theta times the cotangent of theta, and we want to reduce it to its lowest form. So let's use some of those identities that we've already learned about. What they call in your book on page 354 is like the quotient identities or the reciprocal identities. How can I rewrite tangent of theta into a different form? So looking on page 354. I can rewrite the tangent of theta into sines and cosines. So the quotient identity says that the tangent of theta can be rewritten as the sine of theta over the cosine of theta. Then the cotangent of theta also can be rewritten using one of the quotient identities that says that cotangent of theta is cosine over sine. So now I have two fractions multiplied together. What can I do to reduce it? Can I do any reducing? Can I do any canceling? Yep, I can cancel this cosine of theta with that cosine of theta. I can cancel this sine of theta and this sine of theta. And what is my final answer then? 1. Let's come over to question B. The cosine of x times the secant of x. What can I do to rewrite one or both of those pieces in the expression? What can I do with secant of x? How can I rewrite the secant of x? There is a reciprocal identity that the secant of x is 1 over the cosine of x. And I'm going to keep this first piece as it is. What's the next step then? You can cancel again. You can cancel those cosines of x's. So this cosine of x and this cosine of x cancels. So what are we left with then as our final answer? Just 1. So reducing the expressions down by using some of the identities on page 354. Question C. The cosecant of x times the tangent of x. How can I get rid of those functions, or both of those functions? 1 over the sine of x is cosecant. How can I write tangent of x? Sine of x over cosine of x, the quotient identity. Sine of x over the cosine of x. Now what can we do? Cancel. We can cancel the sines of x's. So these sines of x's cancel. So we're left with 1 over the cosine of x, which is secant of x. Let's go over to question D. Cosine of theta times the tangent of theta. How can I rewrite one or both of those trig functions? Tangent of theta is sine over cosine. Quotient identity. How does that benefit me? Cosines cancel out. So our final answer then is sine of theta. Okay, 2 more. Question E. Cotangent of x divided by the cosecant of x. This I'm going to split up into 2 pieces, so it's a little easier to see. So the cotangent of x times 1 over the cosecant of x. Now let's see if we can convert everything to sines and cosines. Can we do that? What's cotangent? Cosine over sine? Correct. Quotient function? And then what can I do with 1 over cosecant? Reciprocate that? Yep. 1 over cosecant of x, reciprocate identity says that is the sine of x. Now what can we do? What can we cancel? Cancel some sine of x's. So then our expression is the cosine of x. Next example, the secant of theta times the sine of theta over the tangent of theta. I'm going to split up into the 3 pieces again. Secant of theta times the sine of theta times 1 over the tangent of theta. Can I rewrite those 3 pieces to all sines and cosines to see if stuff can cancel out? How can I rewrite secant? 1 over cosine. Sine of theta is already in sines and cosines, so we're good. What is 1 over tangent of theta? So the reciprocal of the 1 over tangent is cotangent. And do we know what cotangent is? Cosine over sine. So rewrite cotangent as the quotient identity. Now let's see if some things cancel. 1 over the cosine of theta times sine of theta. Let's write a 1 there. What cancels? The sines. and the cosines. So our final answer is 1. Stop there.